You're alright there, folks. What's going on? Great to see you as always. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Australian Open. We're going to be going through the rest of the round 2 matches very shortly. Before we get into them, quickly just like and subscribe for me. Yeah, get in the comments if you got any winners last night as well. We're going to touch on that in a sec. If you want to support the channel, links in the description and the pinned comments as well, along with the picks. First things first. Good news first, I managed to get one last night. Jacob Fairley really saved me. He really did. Hands up, who got screwed over by Felix Auger-Aliassime. I imagine we were all in the same boat on that one. It's criminal, innit? It's criminal. It was harder for him to lose that match than it was for him to win it. But look, if anyone's going to choke a game away like that, it's going to be him. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Like I said, I'm not too mad. What do we expect? Remember when he was beating Tommy Paul and Sebastian Korda last week? Now he ends up getting fucking smoked by Guile from Street Fighter. Honest to God. You know, it's happened, hasn't it? And you know what? You may not think of it now, but look at it as this way. It's somewhat of a godsend. I'm quite happy that this has happened with Felix so early in the season. It's done us a massive favour. If you remember last year, we done it with Holger Rune and Hugo Humbert. We're going to have to do the same here. He can't be trusted. I think I speak for a lot of us, if not pretty much everyone who's involved with the channel. We've got no business with this lad anymore. He's so bad for business. Just when you think you can trust him, he proves you wrong. Don't let it bother you. It's done. We're back on it today. We've got to get another one, haven't we? So, first off, we'll go through the big favourites. So we've got Jannik Sinner, obviously, against Mr. Schoolcake. I don't think he stands a chance. It's going to be Sinner in straight sets. There's no way. There's no way the Schoolcake takes a set. I'm pretty certain of that. You'll have to take Sinner minus the points, or in straight sets if you want him on a parlay. It's the only way. Pretty much same goes for this one. So Taylor Fritz plays Christian Garin. I've still got Taylor Fritz on me outright to get to the quarters, so I'm not going to touch this one. I'm just going to sit on it. Which reminds me, I should have mentioned it before. Speaking of outrights, how about that Jack Draper? How about Jack Draper? You see him come back and win that game against Khachanov? You see that? That's just... Aliassime can't even close a game out when being 2 sets up. Look at that. Just saying. Look at that. So, Jack Draper's winning games on pure genetics alone. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think he plays... who does he play in the next round? I did check. I think he smokes him anyway. Hurkacz. So I feel like one more game, Jackie boy, and you can do that for me. We'll be in the money. But yeah, Taylor Fritz will be Christian Garin, probably in straight sets. I need him to get to the quarters, and I feel like he'll fly there. We'll talk about Daniel Medvedev, Lena Tien. Got Medvedev as quite a big favourite as well, but I did not, and I repeat, I did not see him dropping 2 sets. Not even 1 set. I didn't even think he'd get broken by that fucking kid from Thailand who he played, but 3-2. I think that was just complacency. He couldn't have been taking that serious. That must have been a scare for him, you know. It must have been. Lena Tien, I was surprised he had a close one with Hugo Carballes as well. Like, he looked a bit shaky, you know, to be fair. I feel like Medvedev will most definitely up his game in this one. I feel like I didn't even watch his first game, so I don't feel like I needed to, but the result speaks for itself. That couldn't have been a serious Medvedev. I'm pretty certain he's not injured. I'm sure he gets past Lena Tien. I need him to, because he's the last one on the outright. I need him to get to the quarters as well, where I imagine he'll probably bump into Taylor Fritz along the way. Yeah, it'll be Medvedev. Probably not minus the points, and probably not in straight sets either. You probably look at Lena Tien plus, I imagine it's 7.5, 8.5. I don't know. Go and have a look. Is there any more? I feel like there's one more really big favourite, and I'm missing him. You know what? Alex Michelsen. That's nuts. Obviously not as big as like Yannick Sinner, but even still, Alex Michelson's quite a big favourite. 1.1 against James McCabe. I think he played him. Was it last year? He played him in the No, he didn't. Am I just talking shit? I'm maybe thinking of someone else. He did play him in the Australian Open last year. What am I on about? Yeah, he beat him 3-1. I imagine he beats him now. I really do. I haven't watched any of the James McCabe games. I know he beat that the Spanish kid in straight sets, but I don't know how much weight that would hold. Alex Michelson annihilated Tsitsipas. I feel like doing just a separate video based solely just on that game. I mean, Alex Michelson, mate, like that was quite a big upset. Odds wise, it was maybe not to us. Like we had a feeling, didn't we, that Alex Michelson would probably do him Tsitsipas. He just ain't that guy on the hard court, but he did not make that look like it was an upset at all. He made it look like he was a massive favourite, and he just dusted them aside. I can't help but feel like we'll get something similar against James McCabe. I don't feel like he's got enough for someone as good as Alex Michelson on the day. I'm not going to be touching it, but if anyone's got anything, please do get involved. And I knew there was another one that I missed. Alex de Minaur, Tristan Boyer. De Minaur, straight sets, easy as you like. Easy as you like. Tristan Boyer, he barely got past Federico Coria. Barely. I had him on a treble, didn't I? I mean, it didn't matter anyway, because Zizou Bergs ended up shitting the bed, but Tristan Boyer looked like he was beat a few times, so once again, I think there's levels, serious levels, and especially when you play someone like the Demon, you'll see the level here. Straight sets, he's 1.03 for the win. Easiest straight set win that. That and Yannick Sinner, in my opinion. I don't know what the odds would be if you doubled that, but probably just under evens. It's the only way. It is the only way. But right, we'll talk about the interesting ones. We'll fly through these. We'll see what we've got. First off, Hurkacz, Kecmanovic. Heads to heads 2-1 to Kecmanovic. He hasn't beaten for about 4 to 5 years. He nearly got beat by Dusan Lazovic as well. In his first game, he's played quite a few games to start his season. He's looked fairly good too. I think I seen enough with Hurkacz the way he played against Griekspoor to take him on a parlay. More than enough. I was convinced Griekspoor would at least take a set, probably even push him to 5, but no, he looks solid. He seemed to look a little bit more agile as well, which is exactly what I need from Hurkacz. Kecmanovic could take a set. Like, he's tricky. He is very tricky. He's been playing a lot better this year than I think I've ever seen him play. Going 5 sets with Dusan Lazovic though, coming up against Hubie, no. I think this one's set in stone. I think Hurkacz on the money line. Look, it's 1.3, 1.35, but if you're parlaying it, I think it's very safe. I imagine you agree. Super, super safe. We'll move on. El Chapo, Lorenzo Musetti. Now this was split right down the middle before, so you've got Chapo as a slight favourite here. Musetti did beat him in the Indian Wells last year. That was in the hard court. It was 2-1. He looked dicey against Roberto Batista Agut, didn't he? El Chapo, that is. He looked very, very dicey. 14 double faults in that match for Shapovalov. That's you're going to have to sort that out for a start. He probably is a bit more better suited to this surface than Lorenzo Musetti. As we've mentioned in a couple of videos, Musetti really is a 50-50 player on the surface. And I'm pretty sure he's won 50% of his games this season for a start. Yeah, would you look at them? Well, he's won 2 and he's lost 1. He did get past Matteo Arnaldi. He dropped a set along the way. El Chapo beating Batista Agut 3-1 as well. He looked fried, he did. He looked done that first set. He was well off it, and then he went down a break in the second as well. I think this is an over 3.5. I really do. Musetti will definitely take a set. While he's a dog as well, Musetti, just for the set, I think he might beat him, you know. I know I've just said Chapo's probably a bit more suited to the hard court, well, there's no doubt about that, but I think Musetti's probably just a little bit more consistent, and dare to say it, a lot more professional. So if I was picking a side, I'd probably lean towards Musetti on the money line. If you were taking a winner, me personally, I don't know what I'm going to go for. I imagine it'll already be pinned. There may be one or two parlays, but I wouldn't mind taking Musetti just for one set. Just for one set. If we're playing it safe, if we're trying to get a win, I feel like Musetti just for the set's alright. Daniel Altmaier, Gael Monfils. Didn't expect him to still be here. He's played a few games as well to start the year, and he's looked really, really good. I imagine there wasn't a lot of us that expected him to get past Impechi Pericard, but here he is. And if you're going to get past him, I'd imagine you get past Daniel Altmaier too. So, Gael Monfils all day. Karen Khachanov, Gabe Diallo, heads 2-0 to Khachanov. These were last year, weren't they? Both of them last year on the hard court. Very familiar with his game. I think Khachanov will do it again. I do. He looked good against Mannarino. He beat him in straight sets. Yeah, Khachanov always does this. Just when you don't expect it, he's such a dark horse, and he won't win the slam. But Masters events, Grand Slams, he can fly under the radar a lot. We've spoke about it a lot on the channel over the year. Gabe Diallo barely got past Luca Nardi. Barely got past him. 3-2. Really turned it on in the end, smoked him 6-1, 6-2 for the winning set, but nonetheless, probably should have made it a lot easier. I think I'm right to assume if you're going to struggle that much against Luca Nardi, playing Khachanov, looking as good as what he does as well, let's just say he's as close to as good as he's going to be, well, as good as what we know. He definitely beats Diallo, as proven in both games last year. I don't think much has changed between the pair of them. If anything, Khachanov will probably just ease himself into the tournament as it goes on. I'd imagine he takes that one. Both of them for a set, maybe. I think Diallo could just sneak one, maybe two, who knows. I think Khachanov should just get that one done. Who else have we got? Ben Shelton and Pablo Carreño Busta. I could have swear these have played before, but they haven't. Ben Shelton's 1.35, around 1.4, depending where you look. I think he beats Pablo Carreño Busta, I really do. And I like Carreño Busta, I'm a really big fan, as you know. I just think when Ben Shelton's fit, when he's playing the way he's playing, he's very hard to beat. I wouldn't have admitted it, a year ago, but I've most definitely accepted the fact that this kid's really good. He's a really good tennis player. He's better than most on his day, and I can't help but I was looking at that game against Baena. Everyone was so certain he was going to drop at least a set or it'd be close. Some people even had Baena winning. He looked sound. He looked fairly sound in that. Alright, Carreño Busta managed to get past the Polish kid, didn't he? But I expected that. Straight sets, maybe he could have dropped one. Wouldn't have said he'd have done it in straights, but he is the better player. When he's playing good, he's very tough to beat too. But I just think overall, I think Ben Shelton's got everything. Carreño Busta's got plus more, a lot more as well. A lot more explosive, a lot more power. He's going to be a lot more agile as well. All the signs are pointing towards Shelton. Shelton on the money line's a perfect parlay piece for me. I couldn't thought he'd taken off the over 3.5 sets. I wouldn't be surprised if he was to drop just the one. But he should be getting it done. He really should be getting that one done. Musetti and Mitchell Kruger, I couldn't care less. I honestly couldn't care less. I think Corentin Musetti's a better player, if you can dare to say that. But I'm surprised Mitchell Kruger's still here as well, and he looks like he's been playing good too, so I'm just going to stay away from that. Any more shitters? I think that's the only one. The Musetti game's the only one. Got Marcus Giron, Nechiaveri, split right down the middle. I think Marcus Giron beat him. Was it last year? Maybe not. The year before. 2022. So yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Echeverry's looked really good, hasn't he? He looked decent against Flavio Carballes as well. Marcus Giron, did look shaky against Jan Hanfman in that first set. Managed to pull it back and win the next three. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that Garon beat Jan Hanfman, but I don't think he's ever been this far in the tournament before. No, he always gets knocked out in the first round. Beat by Nadal in 2022. All right. Beat by Medvedev in 2023. All right, and then got beat by Jack Draper. Oh, was that the one where he was being sick? I was thinking about that the other night. Alright, you can't say anything about that, can you? They're three fucking nightmares for you. I was going to say, I don't know what it is, but that's exactly what it is. He's had three really bad draws there. Echeverry got to the third round, was it last year? I think he got to the third round. I feel like he'll fancy himself to do it again. He went to a tiebreaker with Djokovic in the third round last year, I remember that. I don't know who wins it. I don't. This really is a coin flip, in my opinion. Parlay wise, either of these to take a set. Over 3.5 sets would be your best shout, I think. Echeverry, I'd just give the slightest edge to him. Slightest edge to him. He seems to be playing on pure vibes, doesn't he? I think he can get to the next round. If you can take 3 sets off Flavio Caballo, I don't know, can we say that? Because he looked dumb in his warm-ups, didn't he? So I'm not too sure. I was going to do Echeverry for a set on a parlay, but I'm not so certain. I may have just talked myself out of it. I'll be leaning towards him. I don't see Marcus Garon beating him in straight sets. I just don't. So maybe I am all for Echeverry for a set. Yeah, I think I am. We'll see what I go for. Fabian Marozsan is playing Tiafoe. I like Fabian Marozsan for a set as well. 2.7 on the decimal for Fabian Marozsan. You're getting 1.5 for Tiafoe. Do you think Tiafoe's going to beat him? Probably, right? Better player? Yeah, we could probably say that. But we're not in America, are we? We're in Australia. And Tiafoe barely got past Artur Rinderknech, and I thought he'd make it a lot more convincing than what he did. Fabian Marozsan did go the distance with Sabo Field as well. I think this is another one over the 3.5. I really do. I think Marozsan will fucking give him trouble. I think Tiafoe will, maybe not for the entirety of the game, but I feel like he'll struggle in parts. Marozsan gets firing. He's really good behind the serve. He moves quite well as well. Hard court is probably the best setting for him, in my opinion. Although he does seem to prefer the clay. Well, he does the majority. He plays majority of his games on the clay. I don't know whether he prefers it, but he's pretty trustworthy on the outdoor hard court. That being said, so is Tiafoe, isn't he? 21 and 15 last year, 21 and 11 the year before. Got to give the edge to Big Foe. I can't help but think that Marozsan will take a set, so maybe have a look at that. And then we've got 2 more, and then we're done. We'll get into the officials. So I know what everyone's gonna do on this one. I've seen it all over the place, and I was thinking about it myself, and I'm sold. I'm all in. So we've got Joao Fonseca, Lorenzo Sonego. Fonseca 1.2 on the decimal. He wins this, doesn't he? No doubt in my mind he wins. He's really good, isn't he? He's really, really good, man. Like, if you're gonna just come into the Grand Slam and annihilate Andrei Rublev in straight sets as well. I know Rublev's been well off the pace as of late, but even still, for a lad his age, just to come onto the Grand Slam and just dust them straight sets, you're probably gonna do the same to Lorenzo Sonego. Lorenzo Sonego, who was so inconsistent, barely puts together back-to-back wins. Sorry. Fonseca's already beaten before as well. When was that? This is the heads-to-heads one apiece. That was last year in Bucharest on the clay. It's easy. It's easy. This kid's on one hell of a win streak. Like I said, Sonego can't even win 2 games in a row. Barely wins 2 games in a row. He's just beat Stan Wawrinka. He did drop a set. I would imagine Joao Fonseca to smoke him in straight at the bare minimum. Drop a set. I'll allow him to drop a set. We'll take Joao Fonseca -1.5 sets, so we can win 3-0. You can win 3-1, or 3-love. I should probably say. We're talking about tennis, aren't we? So we can drop a set. We just can't get Sonego to win 2. Basically, I've seen someone put it in the comments as well. I totally agree. It's all over the place. It seems to be the play for today. And as far as a parlay piece goes, Joao Fonseca -1.5 sets seems like a fucking bargain, if you ask me. And then the next one, we've got, well, the last one, mind you, Berrettini, Holger Rune. Holger Rune's an underdog here. Getting Berrettini at 1.7 as a favourite. Only a slight favourite, mind you. Would you call me crazy if I think Holger Rune beats him? I think Holger Rune beats Matteo Berrettini today. He usually does. He plays really well against him. He's beaten him the last 3 times they've played. Is that right? My eyes playing tricks on me, yeah. Beat him in Shanghai 2-1. Beat him in Cincinnati 2-1. Beat him in Monte Carlo. That was when Berrettini had to retire. And he even beat him the time before that in Acapulco. In full matches, you're talking like the last 3. Oh, fucking Berrettini retired in that one as well, so that doesn't even count. You get me point. Holger Rune usually beats him. He did have to go the distance with Zhang. I thought he would have made it a bit more convincing than that, but nonetheless he did show a bit of grit and managed to rally and get that one done. The Holger Rune of years gone by probably would have shot that game away from the first set, you just know it. Berrettini did manage to get past Kecmanovic, dropping a set along the way. Holger Rune, is he going to get to the next round? He got beat here last year by Hurkacz. Straight sets as well. 3-1 by Hurkacz. Managed to get to the round of 16 the year before that. Ended up getting beat by Rublev. How times have changed. Who do you think wins this? I think Berrettini's got enough. Look, we know he's got enough to beat him, but he hasn't proven to me in the past that he can beat him. Look, I feel like Berrettini can be a bit one-dimensional sometimes. I really do. He can be very strong. Like when his serves go and it pops off, don't it? His serve is so good. But I just feel like in these best of 5 sets, probably fitness comes into play, and I always have a lot of doubts and a lot of question marks around the fitness of Matteo Berrettini. I'd be willing to give the edge to Holger Rune in that department. I'll tell you what, I can't pick a side, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it on the parlay because the odds aren't too bad. Holger Rune will definitely win a set. It's a best of 5. He's beaten the last 2 on the hard court. He will definitely take a set. Mark my words. Definitely take a set. Whether he wins it or not, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I feel like he can. I don't see why not. While he's an underdog as well, I think Holger Rune stands a really good chance of beating Matteo Berrettini today. So let me know what you think on that. I think that's all the minute. Is that everyone? Yeah. Right then, as of right now, I'm not so sure what I'm going for. I've got a couple of things written down on my notes. I'll probably just compile them. I may go for 1 parlay. I may go for 2. You've already seen it. So, yeah, whatever I've went for, let me know if you like it. If it's just a 1, are you following it? If it's 2, let me know which one you like best. Or would you like both? I don't know. Anyway, so that wraps us up for round 2. Appreciate you stopping by, as always, folks. We've gained quite a few subscribers over the past few days, so if any of you are still watching 20 odd minutes in, I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. We'll be at 500 before we know it. So I'll be saying good night to you then, folks. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Let's go get it today, and I'll see you tomorrow.